Hi, it's Red Snapper, and welcome to the Showgirl's Closet. It's still May, which means more Star Wars. Yay! So exciting. Nutmeg is here with me. Hi, baby. Ready to support? Today we will talk about my Mandalorian costume and that act. This is a two-parter. So part one is about me. Part two is about my scene partner. And it's not you, even though you could be my scene partner. I bought this Mandalorian, this is not what I wear. I bought this Mandalorian fabric. This has been through the washer a few times. But I bought this to line a corset, and I had enough left over that I made, yes, she wants to wear it. I made a dress for Nutmeg. Now, baby, you've lost some weight, so this might not fit so well. I have to adjust the snaps for it to be like fully perfect, but yes, you can wear this. She wore this dress when she was competing in Agility League. She wore dresses most of the time for her first, oh yeah, see there's space in there, baby. For her first season of Agility League because she had a little wound on her back. She got scratched on something outside, so she had a little wound right here. I think we had an episode about this in Project Nutmeg. And so I made her a little dress, and she competed in her little dress. You look so perfect. You're amazing. There's a lot of space in here, though, because she's lost some weight. So we have to readjust the snaps on this. Yeah. Bonus content, babe. You're so precious. All right, I was trying to decide, do I go into the armor first or do I go into the costume first? And since Nutmeg is sitting on top of the armor, we're going costume first. Mr. Snapper and I were asked to fill in when a performer was no longer available for a Star Wars themed show. I think it was probably a May the 4th show at Viva's Lounge back when that was a thing for Viva Dallas Burlesque. And we had such a short time to prepare. It was somewhere between 2 and 3 weeks. We got notice, and the producer, our friend Shoshana, said, could you do something? And we're like, maybe. I mean, could we do Mandalorian? I mean, if we did, it would be kind of funny, and it would probably be this. And we just came up with the idea. We gave ourselves a few minutes to talk it over, and we're like, yeah, we could totally do this. We can work with it. So my costume was not as curated as when I started this act as these costumes often are. I started with this silver tube top that I got from Amazon. I got my costume pieces from Amazon because I needed something. So silver tube top, that worked. I have some black boots, black leather boots that I wore for a hip hop number. They're somewhere in this closet. I'm not going to dig them out right now, but they're nice thigh-high boots that I decided I can wear those with fishnets. That'll be fine. And I got some, let me get these off the rack. I got some go-go shorts, and they've got an elastic waistband. I love that because, you know, aging. So got these go-go shorts. They've got a nice little thing going on. Yay. And I still wear the go-go shorts when I perform this act now. The tube top, no, because I've replaced it with something else. But the go-go shorts, they're still fun. They still work very well for the act. I'm going to put those by you, babe. I got a cardigan that has shoulder pads in it to give the right look. And I stitched Velcro onto it because I attach the pauldrons to this thing. I'm going to take this off in a moment, but I'll put this on so that you can kind of see how it works. When I break out the armor, I'll tell you more about how it's put on here, but the armor can be a little heavy. So I have this little jewelry clasp and chain here to help hold this closed so it doesn't slide off my shoulders. I keep hitting my mic pack with the chain. I know I'm going to make somebody crazy in editing, but this gives a good silhouette. So this over the tube top with the shorts was year one. Oh, and I have a cape, just like a regular old Dracula kind of cape that I put a few stitches. Yeah, I put a few stitches in so it would sit the way I needed it to sit. So it's, you know, it hangs back a little bit. All right, so after the first year, I had time to make a corset. And I made this corset with a little bit of space because middle age. Here's where you can see the lining that matches Nutmeg's little dress. I like to do fun lining that is either the same colorway or something that's comedic to me, like inside of my Deadpool Playboy bunny outfit, I have Spider-Man because Deadpool loves Spidey. I thought, well, this is cool. People might notice this on the stage, or they might not. It doesn't really matter. It makes me very happy to have. So I made this corset, and I did some designs on the front. These are like appliques with machine embroidery in order to get the right look, the right basic look. And on the front, if we zip this up, the Mando armor is pretty simple. It's not, you know, doesn't have a lot of crazy shapes in it, which was great for the corset. And it's kind of a silvery black. The Beskar steel is like a silvery black. So that's why I went with this very dark silver. So you see this little shape on the front. That's something that's in the middle of the Mando armor, even though there's not, you know, a split on the armor. You gotta use a little bit of imagination with this. So this now sits under this, right? Love the corset, love it. It's easy for me to take off. It's got this chunky zipper on the front. So easy, especially when you're working with a challenging scene partner. The last bits of this costume proper, the fabric part of the costume, come from my hip hop act, which I haven't performed in some years. There was a lot of crawling around on the floor and booty clapping, so I made some booty shorts so that you couldn't see everything. So they're cute, they're ruched. So I wear these. And I made an underbra for that one. So it gives me a little bit of support, a little bit of shape. Not a whole ton, but you know, it's got wires. They didn't have black clasps back in 2010. Not that I could find, so I had to use a cream clasp and then paint it black with, I think, spray paint or some of the tester's paint that you use for model cars, something like that. So I wear this. It has a halter neck. Works well for this. So I've got a little more shape under here. The only thing I take off in the act, it was the tube top. Oh, I took off two things. I would take off the tube top and the shorts. Now it's the corset and the shorts, and that's all I take off. But there are moving parts in the act, so it's good that it's just those things. All right, on to the armor part. I had made cosplay armor before, so I knew some of the things to put it together for the first time I performed the act. And I knew I could assemble the armor, especially using cosplay forums, before that first performance. And then I made some upgrades. This box isn't the one that I take with me to gigs, the plastic box beneath is, but I do have my old armor. It's made with, you know, the cosplay foam. I think it's EVA foam. And I have some of this indoor-outdoor adhesive hook and loop tape. Brand name Velcro, not sponsored by Velcro. This was assembled with hot glue and razor blades. This is a hot glue design. And I could just stick these pauldrons, I could stick them to the Velcro on the jacket, right? Or on my t-shirt. I loved how these looked, but I thought I should get something a little more professional for the next time I perform this act. Enter something more professional. I got fancy 3D printed pauldrons. They are a lot heavier than the foam, and I did the treatment with the black and then the silver, and this is how they came out. They arrived not long before I had to do the performance, and I'm sure they could use a little more love, another sanding, another filling, another coat of paint, 2 coats, black and then silver. And they have elastic in here so that they kind of stay on. So I had to add this here. I had to add the hook and loop tape with something behind it so that it was built up enough to attach. So now it's like this. And this is cool, right? It looks great. But what if I want to raise my arms? I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer. I need to be able to move. So I can't really, this doesn't work. And I have a helmet on during all of this. So these are fantastic, but I may have to go back to the little cosplay ones that I had before, just because I need to be able to move my arms, but they look awesome. All right, gauntlets. These are the original gauntlets that I made from the same kind of foam, same spray painting process. Like there are ink pens in here. You can see some of the hot glue because this is rounded, so it shifted a little bit. But these are ink pens that I spray painted and put in here. Elastic. The glue sticks very well to the elastic. So I don't know if I can get this all the way on with my watch or my hands. Gauntlets aren't the most comfortable thing. I should say cosplay gauntlets are not the most comfortable thing for me, for sure. But these do fit my forearms pretty well. They look great from stage. You know, if you're in the audience, like, oh, that looks amazing. When you get up close, it's a little funky. And the underside, nobody really pays attention to. All right, now I got to get out of them. I liked how they looked. Oh, I just popped the elastic after I talked about how great the hot glue held. Oops, spoke too soon. All right, they looked pretty good, but I felt like I should have something more professional the second time I performed the act. Enter the official 3D printed versions that I thought would be better. And they look great. They didn't, you know, the paint isn't as great as on the others as far as the color goes. You know, they've got the black underneath them. I've sanded them. I've done the fill. They could probably use a little more love. I had them 3D printed. They're supposed to fit my measurements, but they're made for cosplay, not for dancers. So this, it has foam that's falling apart inside. I had to pad it out because, you know, I don't have huge muscular forearms. I have the forearms of a lady. I guess that's the ladylike thing about me. Oh, this is gross foam. So you can see I've got all this room in here where it's just flapping around. And I have elastic in here so I can put these on. This one has a piece of foam left in here from something else. I need to get more foam. I should probably try to hit a Joann Fabrics before they're gone and get some more foam. You see how this one's just rotating around with its decorated foam. But these look great, right? I do have some mobility issues, like, you know, what if I put my hands back? I can't really do this because, you know, I'm bumping into it and I don't have beefy forearms. So they look great, but there's still a challenge because I'm dancing. I'm not just standing and posing. I'm trying to exist. The piece that has been with me, though, from the very beginning, and this was the important piece that I had to have in order to perform the act. You don't have a Mandalorian unless they have the Mandalorian helmet. I ordered this on Etsy. I paid about $100. I don't know how much it's gone up since then, but it was, you know, 3D printed. So it looked like this. I had to sand, fill, and paint, and it could probably use another round of filling, sanding, and painting because I had to do it quickly the first time. Had to glue these earpieces on. I had to buy this piece separately, this welder's visor, I guess, plastic from the right place. and get it in there. And it's held in place with the soft side of Velcro so that it's pushed towards the front and it doesn't just flap. So I had to get that separately, get Velcro to put in here. And this I had to do separately as well. This rig here is from the inside of a Makita hard hat. This is not sponsored by Makita, but one of our friends who worked for Makita a million years ago gave us this hard hat long before this act. We're like, we could do something with it eventually. This is really bad because I'm saying never throw anything away. You should throw things away, but that came in useful. So this rig helps keep it where it needs to be on my head. I don't have a huge head. And they didn't have like, do you have a small head? That was not one of the options. This is the size that's available. So before I had like bicycle helmet padding in there, and that would come loose because it's really hard to get things to stick to this stuff, this 3D print filament. So it's tough to get things to stick very well, and those pads just didn't stick and they were falling out. So instead, I just grabbed this Makita hard hat rig, and it works beautifully, and it keeps it on my head so that I can see out of the eye holes, because that's important, right? Got to see out of this in order to perform the act. And when you are performing with a partner, you kind of need to be able to see each other at points. So yeah, that's the helmet. I think it's amazing. I don't know if I should put the helmet on. Maybe. Let's see. Okay. The sound might be really weird right now.
Ooh, actually, the sound's really good.
Oh, finally, the sound is good. So here's the helmet. This is the way. It's pretty great. And it's comfortable. With this padding, it's comfortable. I don't have to worry about it falling off my head when I shake my head yes or no. And I can look to the side. Now, just imagine those big pauldrons here. If I turn my head, that would be a little clunky. So I may have to replace those pauldrons, the fancy ones that I have. But it's great to have them. I mean, looks pretty good. If I take this off, my hair is going to be an absolute mess, like worse than usual. So thank you for joining me. Be sure to like, subscribe.
Hold on. You have to at least try to do a Mandalorian voice.
Oh yeah, you can't see me laughing.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and boop that bell for notifications. Thanks so much to my patrons for all that you've given me over the years. I think you're fantastic. This is the way. See me next time.